The garden was filled with cheers as Emma and Ryan stood surrounded by family and friends, ready to pop the balloon. Emma's heart raced with joy, until the balloon burst, revealing pink. As everyone clapped, Ryan handed her a white envelope. "I'm leaving you. I've been seeing someone else," he said coldly. Gasps filled the air. Emma's hands trembled, but instead of tears, a slow smile spread across her face. "Well, I have an announcement too," she whispered. "Where are you watching from? Comment below and let's connect. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. Let's go back to this thrilling story. I used to think love could fix everything. I believed if I loved Ryan enough, stayed loyal enough, and forgave him enough, things would get better. But I was wrong. So wrong. Ryan and I met in college. He was the charming guy everyone liked, tall, funny, and full of wild dreams. I was the quiet girl, always sitting at the back of the class with a book in my hand. He noticed me one day when I dropped my papers, and he helped me pick them up. It sounds silly now, but that moment changed my life. We were inseparable after that. Ryan made me feel like I was the only girl in the world. He would surprise me with flowers, write me sweet notes, and make me laugh until my cheeks hurt. But even back then, there were signs. Little things. Secrets. He would sometimes disappear for hours without telling me where he went. His phone was always locked, always face down on the table. I used to ask him why, and he'd just laugh it off, saying I worried too much. I told myself it was nothing. That love means trusting someone, right? When we got married, I thought we'd finally settle down, build a life together. Maybe those secrets would go away. Maybe he would finally let me in. But the walls between us only got higher. At first, it was small things. He would come home late from work, saying he had meetings. But when I asked about those meetings, he couldn't remember what they were about. Sometimes he'd get text messages late at night and quickly turn his phone over, pretending nothing happened. I ignored it. I told myself I was just being paranoid. Then I found a receipt in his jacket pocket. It was for an expensive necklace, not for me. When I asked him about it, he shrugged. "Oh, it's a gift for a client. Nothing serious." But the pit in my stomach wouldn't go away. The distance between us grew. He barely touched me anymore. His kisses felt empty. His smile didn't reach his eyes. When I told him I was pregnant, I hoped that would bring us closer. For a moment, I thought it did. He seemed happy. He hugged me and said we'd finally become a real family. I wanted to believe him so badly. But it didn't last. The late nights started again. The secret phone calls, the coldness. One evening, I couldn't take it anymore. "Ryan, are you cheating on me?" I asked directly. He laughed. Actually laughed. "Emma, seriously? You've been watching too many soap operas." Then he walked out of the room, leaving me alone with my doubts and my growing belly. I felt like I was losing my mind. That's when I told Lisa, my best friend. Lisa didn't brush it off. She looked me in the eye and said, "Emma, you need to know the truth. You need to find out for sure. Don't just sit there and wait to be destroyed. Investigate." At first, I didn't know how. I wasn't the sneaky type. I didn't want to spy on my husband. But I started paying attention. I checked his phone when he left it unattended, but it was always wiped clean. I followed his social media. No signs. But then I started listening. One night, I walked past his office door and heard him whispering on the phone. His voice was low, but I heard enough. "Don't worry, I'll be free soon. The baby's almost here. I just need to finish things with Emma." I froze. My heart stopped. So it was true. The man I had loved, the father of my unborn child, was planning to leave me, and he was telling someone else he'd be free soon, as if I was a chain he couldn't wait to break. I stepped back quietly, pressing my hand over my mouth to keep from crying out loud. But in that moment, something inside me changed. I wasn't going to fall apart. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to let him break me. If he thought he was about to win, he was in for the biggest shock of his life. After hearing Ryan's phone call that night, I knew the truth. But knowing isn't enough. I needed proof. I needed to see it with my own eyes. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. Instead, I became quiet, careful, watchful. Ryan didn't notice. He still came home late, still told his tired excuses. "Work is getting crazy," he'd say, barely looking up from his phone. "Just one more meeting," he'd add, grabbing his coat and rushing out the door. But this time, I didn't just sit there. I followed the signs. I started checking his pockets, his drawers, and his car. He was careless. I found little clues everywhere. Receipts from fancy restaurants I'd never been to. Gift shop bags tucked deep under the passenger seat. And the worst one, a hotel receipt for a weekend stay right in the middle of the time he said he was on a work trip. Each piece hit me like a stone to the chest. I wanted to confront him right there, but something inside me told me to wait. I needed more. I needed undeniable evidence, so I did something I never imagined I would. I hired a private investigator. His name was Mr. Cole. When I first called him, I felt so ashamed. "Is it bad that I want to know?" I asked quietly. He replied gently, "No, Emma. What's bad is being left in the dark." I gave him Ryan's schedule, his favorite spots, even the names of people he worked with. Mr. Cole promised to be discreet. For the next 2 weeks, I lived like I was floating in two different worlds. In front of Ryan, I was the smiling, supportive wife. I planned the gender reveal party like nothing was wrong. I laughed with him. I sat beside him. But inside, I was numb. Every time he walked out the door, my phone buzzed with updates from Mr. Cole. Ryan just entered the Fairmont Hotel with a woman. Ryan was spotted at La Bella restaurant with the same woman. Ryan just purchased an expensive bracelet, gave it to her. The photos were the hardest. There he was, holding her hand across the table, smiling the way he used to smile at me. But no matter how many photos Mr. Cole sent, the woman's face was always turned away or hidden behind sunglasses. It was like life was teasing me, showing me everything but the final piece. One night, Lisa came over to check on me. "Are you sure you want to keep waiting?" she asked, worried. "Yes," I whispered. "I need him to feel it. I need him to fall into his own trap." The gender reveal was just days away. Ryan seemed excited, like he was preparing for some grand finale I wasn't invited to. Little did he know, I had a finale of my own. I was in the kitchen organizing the party list when my phone buzzed again. Mr. Cole's name flashed on the screen. I answered quickly, heart pounding. His voice was calm, but I could hear the tension in it. "Emma," he said, "I've finally got a clear photo." I swallowed hard. "Who is she?" There was a pause. Then he said words that knocked the air out of my lungs. "Emma, you're not going to believe who he's seeing." I gripped the counter to keep from falling. "Who?" I choked out. "I've just sent you the photo. Look for yourself." I opened the message with shaking hands. When I saw the woman's face, I felt like the ground had vanished beneath me. It wasn't just some stranger. It wasn't just some random affair. It was someone I knew, someone I trusted, someone who had eaten at my table. But I wasn't ready to break just yet. The gender reveal was coming. Ryan thought he'd humiliate me there. He thought he'd win. But I would make sure his world shattered in front of everyone. I always believed the deepest wounds come from the people closest to us. But nothing could have prepared me for this. When I opened the photo Mr. Cole sent, my world stopped. The woman in the picture, it was Hannah, my cousin, my blood, my best friend since childhood. I stared at the photo for a long time, my fingers trembling, my breathing shallow. I felt like my heart had been ripped apart. Hannah was more like a sister to me than a cousin. We grew up together. We shared secrets, sleepovers, birthdays, heartbreaks. How could she do this to me? I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw the phone across the room. But I didn't. Instead, I closed the message and wiped my tears. I had to stay calm. I couldn't let anyone know I'd found out. The gender reveal was just days away. and I needed Ryan and Hannah to believe I was still clueless. So I smiled. I laughed. I played my role perfectly. When Ryan walked into the house, I greeted him with a kiss on the cheek. When Hannah called, pretending to check on me, I chatted with her like everything was fine. But inside, I was burning. I started preparing my quiet revenge. I finalized the asset transfers with my lawyer. I gathered every photo, every voice recording, every text message Mr. Cole had sent me. I made sure everything was legally locked and ready. Ryan thought he was going to humiliate me at the gender reveal, but I was going to destroy him. One afternoon, as I was folding baby clothes, my mom came into the room. She sat beside me, her eyes filled with concern. "Emma," she said softly, Is everything okay between you two?" I forced a smile. "Why would you ask that?" She frowned. "I've noticed things. He's distant, and sometimes I see him talking with Hannah. It just feels off." My chest tightened, but I stayed calm. "Mom, it's fine. Let's just wait for the party." Her eyes searched mine, but I wouldn't let her see the storm inside me. I needed her to stay quiet, to trust me. Later that evening, I overheard Ryan on the phone again. He was in his office with the door slightly open. I paused in the hallway, barely breathing, listening. His voice was low, but clear. "She's so naive," he said, laughing. "She'll never see it coming." I gripped the wall, my nails digging into the paint. He thought I was stupid. He thought I was weak. He thought he could ruin me in front of everyone and walk away with Hannah. Oh, he would see. They both would. Over the next few days, I carefully planned every detail of the gender reveal. I made sure Ryan was involved just enough so he'd feel like everything was under control. I invited Hannah, of course. She'd be standing right there when I exposed them both. Lisa noticed the change in me. "You're being too calm," she said one day. "What's going on?" I smiled. "Trust me, Lisa. I've got this." The night before the party, I stood in the nursery, looking at the tiny crib and the soft pink blankets. I placed my hand gently on my belly. "I promise you," I whispered to my unborn child. "Mommy's going to be okay. We're going to be okay." The morning of the gender reveal arrived. The backyard was decorated beautifully. Pink and blue balloons, a large cake, excited family and friends gathered everywhere. Ryan walked around like he owned the place. He smiled at me like he was doing me a favor by showing up. Hannah arrived wearing a soft pink dress, pretending to be just the sweet cousin. I watched them from across the yard, my heart pounding. Not with fear, but with cold determination. They thought today would be my breaking point. But today would be their downfall. The thing about betrayal is, it teaches you how to move in silence. While Ryan thought he was setting a perfect trap for me, I was building one of my own. The very next day, after hearing him laugh about how naive I was, I knew I couldn't waste any more time. I started recording everything. His late-night phone calls, his whispered plans, his sweet words to Hannah when he thought no one was listening. I captured it all. Every conversation became a weapon I stored carefully. I knew I couldn't just expose him emotionally. I needed to protect myself financially, too. So I visited my lawyer in secret. Mr. Benson had been helping families for years, and when I told him what Ryan was planning, he looked at me with a calm but serious gaze. "We can protect you, Emma," he said, "but we have to move quickly, and you can't let him suspect a thing." "I understand," I said firmly. "Let's do it." We worked together quietly. We restructured our joint accounts. I transferred ownership of the house and the cars into my name using legal loopholes Ryan would never see coming. I moved our savings into a separate account that only I could access. I even made arrangements to freeze his business accounts the moment I gave the word. Ryan thought he was the master player, but I was 5 steps ahead. He didn't notice a thing. He was too busy sneaking around with Hannah, whispering sweet nothings and planning how he would serve me divorce papers at the gender reveal. The idea still made me sick to my stomach. He wanted to humiliate me in front of everyone. He wanted to crush me completely. But he didn't know the game had already changed. I kept playing my part, smiling at him, asking if he was excited to find out if we were having a boy or a girl. He pretended to care, giving me a fake hug in front of my family. But when he thought I wasn't looking, I caught him sending texts, his face lighting up in a way it no longer did around me. Hannah, my cousin, the woman I grew up with, would call me like nothing was wrong. "Emma, how's the baby? Are you feeling okay? I can't wait for the party." Her voice dripped with sweetness, but now I heard the poison underneath. I played along. I let her think I was still blind. My mother grew more suspicious each day. She would say, "Emma, something is not right. I don't trust Ryan, and I don't like how close he is to Hannah." But I would only smile and say, "Don't worry, Mom. Just wait for the party." The gender reveal day finally arrived. The backyard was beautiful. Balloons, banners, and a big box filled with colored balloons that would reveal the baby's gender when popped. Our friends and family filled the space, excited and happy. Everyone thought this would be the happiest day of our lives. No one knew the storm that was about to break. Ryan walked around like he owned the day. He was unusually confident, wearing his best suit, shaking hands, laughing with guests. Hannah arrived shortly after, dressed perfectly, pretending to be just another family member there to celebrate. They exchanged quick, secret glances when they thought no one was watching. But I was watching. I saw everything. And I smiled to myself. Just before the reveal, I felt my phone buzz in my pocket. It was a message from Mr. Benson, my lawyer. "Everything is ready. You can proceed." I held the phone tightly, my heart steady. It was time. Ryan thought this would be his moment to destroy me. But what he didn't know was I had already taken everything from him. I looked around at the people gathered, my family, his friends, Hannah's parents. Everyone would be witnesses. They would see the real Ryan. They would hear the truth, and they would watch his world fall apart. As I walked towards the center of the garden, where the big box waited, I felt lighter than I had in months. I was ready. The day had finally arrived. The day Ryan thought would break me. But I wasn't broken. I was more prepared than ever. I walked into the backyard, smiling brightly, carefully holding the balloon string as my family and friends clapped and gathered around. Everyone looked so happy, so excited. Everyone except my mother, who kept glancing at Ryan, her eyes filled with quiet suspicion. "Are you ready, sweetheart?" Ryan asked me, his voice smooth, his smile wide. He played the perfect husband, resting his hand gently on my shoulder, acting as though we were still in love. "Oh, I've never been more ready," I answered sweetly, locking my gaze on his. The air buzzed with excitement. People pulled out their phones to record. Laughter and cheers filled the space. Lisa stood beside me, whispering, "Emma, you got this." I nodded, tightening my grip on the balloon string. Let's make this a day to remember. The countdown began. 3, 2, 1. I popped the balloon, and a burst of pink confetti exploded into the air. The crowd cheered. "It's a girl!" they shouted with joy. My mother clapped with tears in her eyes. Everyone was smiling. Except me. As the pink floated down, Ryan casually pulled out a white envelope from his jacket and handed it to me with a cold, satisfied grin. I stared at the envelope. I knew exactly what it was. Divorce papers. The crowd went silent. My mother's face twisted in horror. "Ryan, what is this? What are you doing?" she snapped. Friends exchanged shocked glances. Phones slowly lowered as people realized something was terribly wrong. Ryan's voice cut through the silence like a sharp blade. "I'm leaving you, Emma. I've been seeing someone else," he said loudly, making sure everyone heard. Gasps filled the garden. I could see people whispering. A few mouths hung open in disbelief. Lisa stepped forward, furious. "Ryan, what is wrong with you? This is the baby's gender reveal." But Ryan just smiled, loving every second of the attention. "This is the best time," he said, his tone dripping with arrogance. "She deserves to know now. She's been holding me back, and I finally found someone who makes me happy." He turned and confidently walked toward Hannah, who was standing near the drinks table, pretending to be shocked like everyone else, but I saw the tiny smile she quickly tried to hide. Ryan reached out and gently took her hand. The pieces were falling into place just as he had planned, or so he thought. People gasped louder as they realized what was happening. My mother clutched her chest, her face red with anger. "Your cousin? Ryan, how could you?" she shouted. Ryan ignored her, focusing only on me. His smile said, "I've won," but I simply smiled back. A slow, calm, dangerous smile. "Oh, you think you've won?" I said, my voice steady, cutting through the heavy silence. "You think you've humiliated me today? You think you've crushed me?" Ryan's grin faltered just a little. "What are you talking about?" I turned to the crowd, speaking loud and clear. "I have an announcement, too. A surprise no one saw coming." The guests leaned in. My mother looked at me, confused. Lisa's eyes widened, realizing something was about to happen. "Ryan's been having an affair," I began, "with my own cousin, Hannah." More gasps. "But that's not the real surprise," I continued, my smile never fading. "The real surprise is that while Ryan was busy cheating, I was busy protecting myself." I held up my phone and clicked to play a voice recording. Ryan's own words filled the air. "She's so naive. She'll never see it coming." The crowd listened in stunned silence. I pulled out another envelope, this time from my purse. "These are my divorce papers," I said, "already signed. And with them, full ownership of our house, our cars, and our savings, which are all now in my name." Ryan's face turned pale. "What? No, that's not—" "It's legal," I interrupted smoothly. "My lawyer made sure of it." I stepped closer to him. "You wanted to destroy me today, Ryan, but you've destroyed yourself." The garden exploded in whispers and shocked stares. Hannah's parents looked at her in disgust and slowly walked away. Ryan stammered, "Emma, wait. We can talk about this." "Oh no," I said, stepping back. "There's nothing to talk about." I locked eyes with him one last time. "This was your big moment, remember? I just made it unforgettable." Ryan's face was starting to crumble, but I wasn't done yet. He still thought he had a way out. He still thought he could talk his way through this. I turned back to the crowd, my voice calm but sharp, slicing through the thick silence. "Some of you might be wondering how long I've known. The truth is, I've known for months." The guests gasped again, and I could see Lisa quietly smiling to herself, finally understanding why I had stayed so calm all this time. I watched him sneak around. I watched him lie to my face. I gathered every receipt, every message, every moment he thought he was being clever, and I made sure everything was recorded. With that, I nodded to Lisa, who quickly tapped the laptop connected to the projector. Behind me, the screen lit up. The first photo appeared, Ryan holding hands with Hannah at a hotel entrance. Another photo, Ryan hugging her tightly outside a fancy restaurant. Another, both of them kissing in Ryan's car. The crowd stared, stunned into silence. I heard someone whisper, "Oh my God, it's true." Then Lisa played the recordings. Ryan's own words filled the air. "She's so naive. She'll never see it coming. I'm only staying until the baby comes. After that, I'm out. I can't wait to be free and start over, with you." Ryan's eyes darted around, panicked now, searching for someone, anyone, to defend him. "It's not what it looks like," he shouted, stepping forward. "I can explain." But no one was listening. His friends avoided his gaze. My mother shook her head in pure disgust. Lisa glared at him like she wanted to slap him. Hannah's father stepped forward, his face dark with anger. "Hannah," he said slowly, his voice trembling. "Tell me this isn't true." Hannah opened her mouth, but couldn't find the words. She tried to speak, but all that came out was a broken, "Dad, I—" He held up his hand, stopping her. "You've shamed this family," he said coldly. "You're no longer welcome in my house?" Hannah broke down, covering her face as her father walked away from her without looking back. Ryan's panic grew. He grabbed the divorce papers I had given him and waved them desperately. "These can't be legal. Emma, you can't just take everything." I stepped forward, calm as ever. "They're very legal, Ryan. You handed me yours. I had mine waiting." I tapped the stack of signed documents in my purse. "My lawyer made sure of it. The house, the cars, the accounts. Everything is mine now." His voice cracked. No, Emma, please. We can work this out. Let's talk. You don't have to do this." I tilted my head and smiled sweetly. "Oh, but Ryan, you wanted this. You made your choice." His hands trembled now, desperation spilling from him like a broken faucet. "Emma, don't do this to me. I made a mistake, please." I cut him off with one final blow. "Oh, and one more thing," I said, my voice suddenly soft but powerful enough to silence the entire garden. "The baby isn't yours." The world seemed to stop. Even the birds in the trees went silent. Ryan's face collapsed. "What? What are you saying?" I pulled out an envelope, DNA test results. I waved them gently before handing them to him. "I had the test done weeks ago. You see, while you were busy sneaking around, I was busy learning the truth." Ryan ripped open the envelope with shaking hands and scanned the results. His skin turned ghostly white. He whispered, "Alex? Your childhood friend?" I nodded, meeting his broken gaze. "Yes. When you pushed me away, when you crushed me, I turned to someone who actually cared. Someone who didn't use me, who didn't lie to me. Someone who's been by my side when you weren't." The whispers around us grew louder. Ryan's knees buckled slightly, but no one moved to help him. Even Hannah had slipped away quietly, too ashamed to stay. He looked up at me, tears finally filling his eyes. "Emma, I still love you." "No?" I said firmly, stepping back. "You love yourself. And now, you're all you've got." I turned toward the guests. "Thank you all for coming. I think that's enough surprises for today." Without looking back, I walked away, feeling lighter than I ever had before. The days after the gender reveal felt strangely peaceful. For the first time in months, I could finally breathe. There were no more lies to untangle, no more late nights waiting for Ryan to come home, no more pretending to be happy. I had everything I needed now: the house, the cars, the financial security, and most importantly, my freedom. I spent my mornings walking through the garden, feeling the soft kicks of my baby girl growing inside me. I spent afternoons with my mother and Lisa, laughing, talking, healing. Life didn't feel heavy anymore. It felt light. It felt real. Alex started visiting more often, quietly helping me with things around the house, never pushing, never rushing me. He was patient, kind, gentle, exactly what I needed. One afternoon, we sat on the porch watching the sunset, a comfortable silence between us. "You know," he said softly, "I'm not trying to take anyone's place. I just want to be here. For you. For her." He glanced at my belly and smiled. I looked at him, my heart calm for the first time in a long while. "Thank you, Alex. You've already given me more than I ever asked for." We became close friends, slowly building something steady, something real. There was no rush to call it love, no need to label it. Just two people finding peace together after the storms life had thrown at them. Meanwhile, Ryan's life crumbled. The legal papers I served him took full effect. His business accounts were frozen and his reputation was ruined after the gender reveal video leaked. Yes, someone had recorded the entire thing. The exposure spread like wildfire. His friends distanced themselves. His family stopped answering his calls, and even his parents publicly expressed their disappointment. And Hannah? She left him. She couldn't handle the shame, the pressure, the public disgrace. She packed her bags and disappeared. leaving Ryan with nothing but his regrets. He tried to rebuild his life, but no matter where he went, people knew his story. They whispered behind his back, avoided his eyes, and treated him like a stranger. His once bright smile disappeared. His shoulders sagged under the weight of what he'd lost. He called me once. Just once. I let the phone ring, thinking I might answer. But I didn't. There was nothing left to say. The baby arrived on a rainy Tuesday morning. The moment I held her in my arms, I knew she was the start of a new chapter. I named her Hope, because that's what she gave me. A new chance, a fresh beginning, a life free from the chains of betrayal. Alex was there at the hospital, holding my hand, never leaving my side. When he cradled Hope for the first time, something inside me softened. He looked at her like she was the most precious thing in the world. And maybe, just maybe, one day we'd build something even stronger together. But for now, I was content. Content with my daughter. Content with my peace. Content with the quiet strength I had rediscovered. As for Ryan, he now walks alone. The man who once laughed at me, the man who thought he'd humiliate me, now spends his days chasing shadows of what he lost. He lost his business. He lost his family's respect. He lost the woman he thought would save him. But most of all, he lost me. Some betrayals end a marriage, but some betrayals end you. And Ryan would carry the weight of his choices for the rest of his life. As for me, I walked away stronger, wiser, and completely free. The past was behind me. The future was waiting. And I was ready. Thank you for watching. Where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments and let's connect. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.